gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Schnozzcast. This is Bob, joined by my stalwart co-hosts, Cory, Nick, and Todd. In case you're wondering what we're going to talk about today, it's going to be a little bit of booze news, some 90-second sports, gentleman's agreement, and pick of the week. Gentlemen, how the hell are you? Starting with Cory.
Oh, hey. No weddings this weekend, so that's a plus.
There's always a wedding.
You're telling me, buddy.
Nick?
Oh, good to be up and running. I know you guys don't know, but we just had lots of technical issues that pushed us back on time. That means nothing to the listener.
Yeah, they don't care about our problems.
But for 40 minutes, so we're glad to be up and running. So I'm okay.
Todd, how are you?
I am mighty fine.
Oh, I see what you did there. You still got the mighty in there, though.
Hey, that's different.
You are different.
Word to the mother.
I don't know why. Let me just take a second. God damn it, Cory. All right, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. Please continue to join us here every week. We release live episodes. No, pre-recorded.
We're releasing live episodes now.
Every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If that's not good enough for you and you can't wait, you want to go back and listen to old episodes, you can find us out on all the streaming services, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere else where you get a podcast. You could also...
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
We release them when?
Friday.
At what Eastern time?
10:30 a.m.
No, we don't.
Sorry, don't we?
Again, for clarification on my end, if you want to check it out on YouTube at 10:30 a.m., it'll be there at 10:30 a.m.
My shit was out at 10:30.
But didn't we say, because like several of them were not out at 10:30, that we just release on Fridays?
Exactly. That's what I thought.
You know what? I'm crowing a little bit because my shit was on time. Cory's shit was on time.
Well,
I can say 10:30.
1 out of 2 months.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
That's the only thing I wanted to say.
Excellent. You can follow us out on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Schnozzcast. You can email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can fucking text this fucking guy over at 618-SHOCKER.
Yes.
Shocker.
The shocker line, baby.
You know, I honestly did not think that we'd be catching shit for late release times from our own co-hosts.
Yeah.
Cat shit.
As Todd said, I thought we agreed on leaving the time out, and I think you agreed as well.
Yeah, but then we fucking did our jobs, and I'm like, yeah, someone deserves a little credit.
We were really proud that
but when you fail next month, we'll be back. We'll be back where we started.
Look, if we're doing, if we're recording an episode and I don't list a time, just assume that last week I was late.
This episode will be available this Friday at 10:30. You can't predict the future. You don't know how busy.
I can predict the future.
Busy. Now, if you were talking about
I'm an English major.
If you were like, hey, in case you were wondering, last week's episode was released at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're not quite sure when next week's episode is going to come out.
Bob, that was like me saying I'm going to go see Phil about my broken ankle because he's a doctor.
I hope he's listening.
Phil who?
I do too. I do. That's why I said it.
To the shocker line.
Phil who?
Captain Moorhead.
Hey, looky here. If you're a listener to this podcast, and why wouldn't you be? All you really care about is, can I get it at a consistent, regular basis? And do we release new episodes the same day every week? Absolutely.
There you go.
It's just dependent on that time thing.
And you know what? If you're sitting around counting the seconds down till 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time to listen to the episode, you may want to pay a little more attention to that job you got. Make sure you got food coming in.
Distract yourself a little bit.
Yeah, paycheck in your bank account.
11:30.
I think it was last week or the week before. I called and I said, it was like 3 p.m, and I was like, hey,
you didn't call, you texted.
I'm like, I'm completely okay with the fact that it's not out at 10:30 in the morning. I said, but is there anything I can do to like help out or whatever? He's like, scream, 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 scream. I've had a long, hard day. And that's basically what I got. And I was like, okay, I'm not saying that it needs to, but let's just remove the time from when we talk about it. He's like, nobody mentions the time. I'm like, you mention the time every week.
Every episode, yeah.
He's like, do you understand how much shit I had going on today? And I'm like, I'm not giving you shit. I'm just saying.
Point of order.
Yeah.
Please tell TT to get back on the porch. He has no friggin' space to talk about.
Thank you.
Get back on the porch, TT.
When it comes to releasing episodes for the podcast, I have everything to talk about being on time.
Get the squirt gun out. Get the water gun. Squirt him in the face. No! Get back on that porch.
Exactly.
If no one pays attention to the work that goes into doing these episodes, I am above reproach.
I can see my mom jamming a freaking push-up in my face going, stay on the porch.
Yeah. Roll up newspaper right on the snout, Cory. No.
What else do we need to tell the listeners? So next Friday, which would be August 5th.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Fairly sure.
This should be interesting.
Is it not the 5th?
Yeah, exactly. At 10:30 a.m.?
No.
What's happening now?
So it's on the 5th. Is there no one's going to hear this? Why am I even telling you?
I've had a long, hard day.
Unless we released it on the 4th. Well, look, if you're going back in time and you're like, hey, whatever happened on the in July of 2022, then go up to the next episode, because that was the episode where Todd Dillon was in studio and we recorded a live episode.
And we also do our episodes 1 week in advance. So if and when this episode is not released at 10:30 a.m. this Friday, please text 618-SHOCKER or give us a call and let us know. And put Bob Rankin's face right into that pile of shit.
Yeah. I welcome
and then quickly tell your significant other that you hadn't planned on a live show. So whatever you're going to cancel that night to be there, do that.
Yeah, and to be clear, we're not live right now.
We're not? This is weird.
Even though we're always live, according to Bob.
Yeah, we're always live. So yeah, we haven't solidified the start time yet for that live episode, but we'll be doing some marketing this week. So if you are listening to this and it's 10:31 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, and you're wondering, go back and take a look at our Instagram or our Facebook pages, and you'll see it there for the start time.
Hey, and I'll be doing some autographs and pictures for people at local Hardee's and Arby's and Kroger's in the Detroit area while I'm in town.
The old Ponderosa.
Yeah, way to throw Hardee's in there.
I was going to say sign of the beef carver, but
yeah, sign of the beef carver.
And wheat and rye. I'm going to show up. I'll be there.
I think the wheat and ryes are done, buddy.
Was it Tubby Sub Shops?
The old Baker Square.
Hey, Tubby's are good.
The old Baker Square.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Baker Square. A little pie signing.
That's
again, free, Nick?
Again, good luck, Todd. You're going to be driving around a while trying to find an open Baker Square.
The scampiest.
What's the problem here, sir? Well, officer, there's a gentleman in the corner that keeps insisting on signing everyone's pie when they come through the door.
Exactly.
He's got what can only be described as icing, but we're not really convinced.
This is an Ace Hardware store.
Saying, this is a Best Buy. No one's buying pies.
I'll be at Olga's.
I will sign every Olga that you present to me.
Exactly.
Signing individual pizza snackers.
Exactly. And don't bring those damn chicken Olgas my way. That's some bullshit.
He's going to sign everything. Gonna sign everything. That's right. I said.
And grandmas, wear your bras, please.
Oh.
Wink, wink.
Even their wieners.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, you're at a Home Depot or something.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll talk and do that as well. That's fine. Cory, how was your week, man? I've been prattling on.
Not bad. Started working from home for the next week or so. It's fun. I like it.
How do you make people safe from afar?
I don't do that any longer, Todd.
Oh.
I thought
shit, you should call me. We should catch up.
Yeah, we should. Not like we do a weekly podcast together.
Your day?
He makes people safe from afar by not contracting COVID, which is the only reason why he's at home.
Sure, that works. I will say, so Danielle and I went to the Tigers game last weekend on Sunday.
Yeah.
And oh boy, did I have a run-in.
It was fantastic. I should have been at work. I was saying I was working from home. We're at the fucking Tigers game.
No. Just to clarify, I was off on Sunday, and we were able to go to the Tigers game. But so since we know what's the name of the bar that we would go to shuttle?
Long shots.
Harry's.
No, not Harry's.
No.
Phil's butthole. The manhole.
I can see it now.
Nemo's.
Yeah.
So they're not doing shuttles anymore. And so we started calling around to find places that were still doing shuttles. And the old Shillelagh is still doing it. So we're like, all right, we'll go park there.
Mm-hmm. Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, pull in the Shillelagh. Plenty of open spots. Pull up to the attendant. Guy comes out, and he goes, $10. I said, okay. So I grabbed my wallet. I had like 200s and a 50 in there for other uses that weren't for the day.
Hold on.
200s and
Hold on.
50.
Yeah.
I had $250 for other uses, which I will not go into right now.
Exactly.
Exactly. Was Danielle with you?
Yeah, she was right next to me.
I'm away to pay the light bill.
She's actually here right now,
I'm away to
sleeping.
pay the light bill. Nice to have this cash in my hand, but it's going right to DTE.
Sleeping in the chair over here.
I feel like you're going to go to the Bazooki strip club with that money later after the game.
Exactly.
Well, you never. Again, it's my money.
The Cory Selesky.
It's not.
It's your both of your money.
Yes,
This
that's
money
important.
This money was mine before the marriage.
No, that's not
That
how
is
marriage
the
works.
Selesky money.
It was signed. It was
Oh,
signed
my
in the
goodness.
marriage contract.
First of all,
I get to keep that
getting-
$250.
you would never sign a marriage contract.
I'm sorry, sir, but we're getting a fucking hard no from the wife over here.
So
Rookie.
either way, I had this money in my wallet and then a $5 bill. And I'm like, oh shit, I thought I had a 10.
So it's $255.
So, yes. So I look at Danielle, I'm like, hey, do you have a 5? She's like, no, I only have 4 singles.
She said, no, this is my money.
I see all these signs everywhere that say you can pay with card. I was like, oh, dude, I'm like, let me just use my debit card. And he kind of gets this look on his face. He's like, oh, he's like, no, he's like, we're cash only today.
That's what I'm talking about.
I said, that's really funny. You guys are cash only today. He's like, yes, sir. Yeah. We're cash. I'm like, well, I guess we're going elsewhere. So he starts walking away. And as he's walking away, he chuckles to himself and says loud enough so I can hear he has the money, but he doesn't even want to spend it. I said, I'm sorry, what's that, sir? I didn't realize this was your money to do whatever you wanted with. And he's like, you have the money right there in your hand. Why not just give me the cash?
Wait, hold on.
Exactly.
Are you picking a fight with the shuttle bus driver?
Yes.
Or
No,
the owner of the bar.
The attendant
It feels
in
like
the
you're
lot.
being very difficult, TT.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, can I use my debit card? He said, no, we're cash only. I said, okay, then I'm going. And he's starting to give me shit about not using the cash I have in my hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't want to break any of these. So sorry, you're not getting that.
You want to break a 5?
How am I going to break a 5 on a $10 parking spot? And
So give them a 50.
Well,
So-
you share it with your wife, and you both give 5.
Exactly.
Your
so
wife,
he basically brushes me off and tells me, oh, go ahead. If you don't want to use cash, then have a good one.
you cheap fuck.
So I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? Hang on 1 second. I said, you know what, sir? Hang on. Let me try this, scanning this thing real quick to see if it works today. And he flipped the fuck out. No, sir, you cannot. You do not scan that. Don't scan it. I was like, why can't I scan it? It's not your sign. Let me just. I'm telling you, it's cash only today.
Why is he pocketing all this money?
I was like, wait a second. So if I scan this, what's going to happen? Nothing. So I go to scan it again. You can't scan it.
You're
I
going
said-
to
I
balance,
said, wait a
they're gonna
second,
balance their books because of you.
I said, I get it. I said, you want cash in your hand so you can take that and call it a day. Oh, no, I would never do that. So now I'm starting to get a little more agitated. I'm like, you stop being a piece of shit.
Is that what you said?
I did.
All right.
And I was like, you're here to run a business.
All right. The gloves are off now.
Not to be an asshole. He's like, oh, don't you
Clarify
swear
the
at me.
question.
No. He's like, don't swear at me. I said, I'll swear at you all I want. I'm like, because now you're trying to steal money is what you're doing. I said, tell me I'm wrong. So I said, well, give me the number to the company then, because I want to discuss this with them. You know what? Go ahead and scan it and park in the back. I said, wow, that's really funny how that changed all of a sudden. I said, so this does work? He said, I'm not talking to you anymore. I said,
And you
oh,
still wanted to leave your car under the
Yeah, I was going to
supervision
say,
of
what the
this
fuck
man?
happened to your
Word.
car?
can I finish my fucking story?
Oh, my
there's more?
goodness.
Oh God! Now how are
They
we
got
supposed to know
towed because he fucking scanned it. He
'Cause you
shouldn't
think
scanned it.
I would just leave my car?
You had 5 interruptions, and you were like, "No, yes, no," and I was
'Cause-
like, "Would you leave your car?"
'cause you think-
Can I finish my goddamn story? I'm like, Jesus! I asked an actual logical question.
Because you think I'm that dumb to just leave my car there?
Yeah, all my questions were stupid.
Well, yeah, they are.
They were asking if there was a ham in the parking lot, if you jerked this guy off. I'm like, hey.
Was there ham in the
They were asking relevant questions.
Yeah, were they?
So I'm like, yeah, we're obviously not parking here. So went and found
So you did all that bitching to not park there?
Which is
Fuck no.
Total tool.
So I go find another lot, but it's owned by the same company. Well, I pull in. I said, "Hey, can I pay with my debit card?" The guy's like, "Yeah, of course." So I pull in, I park, and I get out.
To the East lot, sir. Can I help you?
You know why he did that, Corey? Because he'd already chipped it so he could steal your credit card and your other information from the machine.
Good. My credit card was still in my wallet, so
Yeah, but
no way he was going to do that.
His $250 was already in cash. So what else was?
Yeah, but he wanted to use his debit card, and the guy already swapped out the little piece that you need to be able to steal people's credit card information.
Can Corey
from
finish his
scanners
story,
like Corey.
please?
That doesn't even make any sense, Todd. But anyways, so yeah, of course you can use your
Sorry,
card.
Granddad.
So I used the card, pay for it. And I get out. I asked one of the guys. I said, "Hey, can I have the number to the company?" He rattles it off real quick, and he's like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "As a matter of fact, it's not." And I told him the story, and he's like, "That's a problem." He's like, "We're actually
Stuart? Yeah, we've always had a problem with Stuart.
he said he's like, we're actually pushing all of our employees to only let people use their debit cards because we don't want employees having cash in hand." I said, "Well, the guy over at the old Shillelagh was basically cornering me into using cash." He's like, "The old Shillelagh, huh?" He's like, yeah. He's like, "That's a problem." We've been having a lot of complaints about that guy trying to force cash out of people.
Clarence.
I was like, "Well, okay." I'm like, "If you're, and this guy seemed like a supervisor, so I'm like, if it's going to be taken care of and dealt with, and someone already knows about it, that's the least I can do."
Yeah.
But the supervisor was actually very nice about it. No, Todd. And he's like, yeah. He's like, if he's like, I feel really bad. He's because if that's the lot you like, I'd rather you park over there than have to drive over here. I'm like, no, it's all fine and good. But yeah, this guy was trying to rip cash off people, and
Thank God there wasn't a 32 ounces of shake nearby that you could have chucked at his window.
if there was, I would have.
I think Todd had a clarifying question.
I do. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Was that number 800-328-74?
Nope. It was.
Are these numbers like slowly
74?
sliding down the screen?
Yes.
Why can't you read a phone number?
7448. Well, because I think he said he rattled it off pretty quick. And if you remember that phone number, it's 1-800 eat shit.
Oh, I was going to say the number that I think I had for you was 955 go fuck yourself.
Wait a minute. So all that was you trying to go like
He rattled it off really quickly.
E is a 1.
E-A-T. Todd, I feel like
What does that spell?
I feel like he shut you down more than the rest of us tonight, and it might have been racial in undertone.
Corey,
Don't get confused. It was extremely racial. That's all it was about.
I love that story.
Race.
I love that story, and that you got kind of some satisfaction. But what Todd just did is the greatest thing I've seen all week.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I'm done telling stories.
Todd gets out the rotary. A.
It wasn't that impressive. He was looking at the phone on his desk.
Eat shit starts with an E.
It wasn't impressive at all. That's why it was amazing.
But I like how he said, "Hold on, did he tell you to call 1-800 for
No, it was 328-7448, fucker. 328-7448.
Now he comes with the quickness.
Phone science.
He's writing it down. He's like,
He rattled it off quickly. That's what I'm going to rattle off from now on. What's your phone number?
next time, Todd, next time you walk down the trail of that joke, leave a trail of breadcrumbs so you can find your way back.
Word.
Have that written down somewhere.
It's because we're live. It's because we're
We're
live.
live every week.
This is the kind of
at 10:30 a.m.
Tom Fucker you can expect when we go live on the 5th of August.
I was
Exactly.
gonna say,
We'll clean this up in editing.
we just haven't told Bob that we haven't been live this entire time. Half this shit isn't even plugged in.
Welcome to the live show, everybody. Oh, he's so cute when he's this age.
Yeah, don't touch me. Let's go into booze news. Todd, Dylan.
And now it's time for booze news.
I'm dishing off to you because something tells me you got a story.
I do. This one touched home because anybody who knows me or has known me for a while, I used to work for a company called Bacardi Rum. I had the opportunity when I was with Bacardi to go sail fishing. And this story kind of really resonated because I'm glad I wasn't this woman. Because at the time I caught a 7'4" sailfish. But here's what I saw in the news for Booze News: 100-pound sailfish leaps from the water and stabs a woman, 73, during a fishing trip. The sailfish charged towards the boat Catherine Perkins was on and impaled her in her groin near Stuart, Florida. She was flown to a nearby hospital. 100-pound sailfish leaped out of the water and impaled a 73-year-old woman. I guess I'm reading this again, according to police.
I was going to say, it did sound kind of redundant.
Exactly. It was very redundant. I guess I should have read the story twice.
Once would have been great.
The victim was with two other people. And get this, when an angler on board caught the sailfish on a fishing line about 2 miles off the shore of Stuart, Florida, in Martin County, sheriff's officer said, as they attempted to reel in the fish, 2 men on board noticed the creature began to charge the boat. And the incident report it said, the fish then jumped out of the water and stabbed the woman in the groin area as she was standing next to the center console, minding her own damn business. That I put in there. The anglers reported the sailfish was an estimated 100 pounds. Dude, that's my Booze News. That is scary, and I hope she has a recovery. They didn't have any. It's going to be hella flown from the beach. But again, can you imagine getting stabbed in the groin by 100-pound sailfish?
Todd, that was the most action that 70-year-old groin has seen in quite some time, so she might have been pretty happy.
Yeah. And what is the name of the procedure?
You don't know that?
To do the groin repair following a swordfish attack. Groinoplasty. From the cheap seats. Groinoplasty. Thanks, Nick Bader.
Swordlefish groinoplasty.
Yeah. I mean, ask a question and it gets answered on the Schnozzcast. All right, I think we got shots.
I still think it's horrible that she actually wasn't involved in the angling and got stabbed by the swordfish.
So she was by the center console. Was she driving the boat while they were doing the angling?
No, they were on a. I'm sure they were on a
like a charter tour. Okay.
Yeah. And
so she probably told her husband Stanley, like, "Hey, would you mind if I come along just to watch?"
Stanley. Exactly.
Todd, clarifying question.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
If you are on a charter boat that is all for angling, that's really loud. Don't do that. It was right in the microphone.
I appreciate trying to make the shots cold for a change, but
if you're on a fishing charter boat, aren't you just kind of by default an angler?
Yes.
Well, okay, so you're saying she's fair game.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the boat. The fish can take anyone out.
I mean, well, that's absolutely true.
I mean, don't slap me in the face with peanut butter and say that you didn't slap me in the face with peanut butter.
Fair point. But if you're the punter, do you think you need to wear a cup, especially if you're second string?
I'm going to say yeah, because I think a lot of guys are probably going to be trying to kick you in the nuts at some point.
What are the odds that the contract that they signed before they got on that boat said we cannot be held liable if you're stabbed to the ground by a swordfish?
I bet it's in there.
Exactly.
Or any fish.
I was going to say it was a sailfish.
This changes the whole contract though that I have with the ocean when I go charter fishing, right? I mean, like, who knew that sailfish were jumping out of the water and impaling folks, especially shooting at the groin? You don't hit people in the eyes or in the crotch.
You know who knew that?
That's a law of nature.
Everyone knew that. Everyone knew that. Now, if you're talking about like back in 1994, where no one had TikTok, no one had YouTube to watch, and you got this shit by reading a Florida newspaper, then yeah.
Or you're just Bob
knew.
now.
Nobody knew. But now everyone knows.
No. My bitch is with the animal kingdom. Birds and animals, they don't peck you in the eye and they don't peck you in the groin. So this swordfish was way out of line. Way out of line. An old lady in the crotch? Come on.
All right, hold on. We're gonna. I'm gonna swap out some segments, and we're gonna go right into grievances here. And now we come to the airing of grievances. God, we really got. And another thing, we got to redo that.
We can redo it.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking about taking it off there. I'm so tired of playing it. It's
Todd. All I got
like a cheese grater to my ears.
All I got to tell you, Todd, is don't smack me in the face with peanut butter and call it peanut butter.
All right, Todd. So
Yes, sir.
go into some detail
Yes, sir.
about your contract with nature in general. What
Well,
is
we're
allowed? What is
on to
not
my
allowed?
grievances.
This is your grievance against nature. Actually, before you do that, what are you drinking today?
Yes. Oh, I'm having the Deschutes Fresh Haze IPA, a little hazy IPA action. Fabulous and refreshing on a 98-degree day here in the Washington area.
That's wonderful.
And my shot, Bob,
Yeah.
little Crown Apple.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum,
All right.
bum, bum, bum,
If you've
bum,
got something similar to that that has alcohol in it, please join us. We're gonna do a shot. Corey, ready?
Salute!
Newport News.
Sweet apple bottom.
All right, Apple Bottom. Yeah, this is your
Yes, sir.
grievances section. So,
Yes, sir.
so I'm putting you on the spot. I want
Okay.
you to go into some detail.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep it brief. But your contract with nature in general. What is allowed? What are your expectations for nature?
But okay,
And how are they
easy.
falling
This would be
short?
super easy and quick.
Okay.
Well, again, you don't go for the eyes or the privates. That is a universal law of nature. You stay away from eyes and privates, and I don't think I need. This goes without saying. You stay away from the exit hole as well. When confrontations arise, you don't go after orifices.
Don't mess with the business then.
Exactly. Stay away from orifices, right? That's a rule known throughout nature. You don't frickin' go for the ear hole, the eye hole, the asshole, or the pee hole. That is all anybody asks or anything asks. So the fact that this swordfish got pissed, and I get it, right? He's frickin' swimming along and frickin' somebody's dangling a really nice fish in front of him. And he's like, I can go for that. That looks like a really nice, tasty piece of meat. I'll have that. And then to feel the hook.
He found another tasty piece of meat.
Exactly. He
boat.
found a metal hook.
A little dry.
Jammed into his. Exactly. He's pissed. He's like, what the hell? I was freaking going for some food. And then he gets freaking hooked. I get being mad. I get jumping out of the water and handing out some justice. But you don't spear people in the privates. They're not ladies in the privates. That's just fucking wrong. That's a grievance against nature.
Todd, so does a sea cucumber though have a pass for the butthole with you?
No.
No, not even the sea cucumber. Okay, just checking.
No unapproved orifice intrusion.
I
Eyes,
think
anuses, wee holes, and ear holes are off the question. Now, any of that flappy skin on the outside, that's fair game.
I echo Todd's sentiment when I say you don't shish the bob. That's just not something you do. Swordfish, big sword, going right in. Don't shish the bob. Don't do it.
Stick to your Cory impressions. Hey, can I do my real grievance though?
I'm sorry. I think we lost Todd for some reason. Todd, whenever you come back, we'll talk to you in a second. I think that's the end of area. No. Go ahead, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. Something happened. No one could hear you.
The Wi-Fi picked back up.
No, but if you could start with the customary and another thing, then launch into it.
And another thing, please, people, when you're out and about, and sometimes I get it. You get older, you lose your ass, and your belt's not quite tight enough. Whatever. Please mind the crack. I don't need to see people's ass cracks, men or women. Don't need to see them in the grocery store. I'm trying to get sustenance, food. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to be a human being. And nobody wants to see freaking uncovered ass cracks at the grocery store. When your pants fall down a little bit because your belt's not tight enough, pull your damn pants up. You know when there's air that's flowing on the top of your crack, keep your crack covered. I don't want to see it. And if you have a big old hairy crack, make sure you fucking brush that shit out now and again. I saw a dude in the grocery store with enough fucking material to fucking weave socks in his fucking crack at a grocery store. I had to leave. I couldn't buy sustenance.
Why were you focusing that hard?
Because first, I thought that there was a fucking dude fucking smuggled a koala bear into the fucking store because there's fucking this hairy thing fucking staring at me. I'm like, dude, your whole fucking crack. And again, some people have longer cracks than others. I know people got long cracks, short cracks.
Long cracks?
I smell an episode title.
I don't think that's the episode title that you smell.
Either that's unapproved orifice intrusion.
crack is an
We'll
orifice.
flip a coin.
Todd, just real quick while you're on camera there, buddy, there is a long hair hanging out of your tooth. That's kind of a weird coincidence.
Wait, is Todd directly
my
addressing
soul
the
patch.
camera again? Oh,
That's
How
my
can
soul.
we not
That's
see
my
it?
soul patch.
as long as he's there, that's fine. I don't need to see it. But knowing
Oh,
he's
now
there-
you want to see it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, you made such a stink about it, and now he's not there. So.
It's actually looking a little crisper with that down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Todd.
Anyway,
so
the end of my grievance is cover your fucking crack, please. We don't need to see it. And again, and if you're gonna freaking have a hairy crack, groom that bitch, shave it, blow it out, vacuum it, do what you need to do to keep that fucker in tip-top shape. Thank you.
So I will say this.
No, thank you.
Of the folks on the podcast, I would say that you're in good company, Todd, but I would say of anyone that I would think would have crack showing issues, it would be you and Cory.
Oh boy.
And I will say
Whoa.
that neither of you have that problem, and I'm pretty proud of you because you two just
That seemed like the most left-handed compliment I've ever heard.
Why would we have that issue? Todd, let's band together here, buddy.
Exactly. I don't know. That was gonna be my next clarifying question.
because
Why?
because you two are the most like if I were
First of all,
yeah,
And
go ahead.
skinny people have long cracks too.
when as long as we've known each other,
Yeah.
whenever have I bent over somewhere or had pants on or something that showed my fucking crack? I can tell you right now, never.
I'm saying
never.
I'm saying you haven't. I'm giving
I know.
you a compliment.
But
I'm
why?
saying if
But why in
someone-
your mind? Why in your mind?
Well, I can't finish the sentence. If
I
you
know.
don't let me
I don't want
finish.
you to finish it because there's no point.
You don't want me to finish it.
Greatest podcast
It's craziness.
ever.
Okay. I'm not going to say something like, "Oh, you're totally out of shape," and that's why I think that. That's not what I'm saying.
Who's
I'm
totally out of
saying-
shape?
Keeping that to himself.
I'm
Hey,
saying
Right, that's exactly what you're thinking in your mind.
no,
obviously,
no, it's not. No, it's not. You both are.
We need a meeting, and we need a meeting an hour before the show.
Immediately.
when they're live.
We need to talk about
By the end of the show, we need a meeting right now. We're gonna have all this out.
because I would think that you and Todd
Out of shape.
are the two people. At least Cory, I know more than Todd, but are the two people that care the least about what you do. Case in point is any time that Cory comes over and the spirit moves him, the shirt comes off. Doesn't care who's around, shirt's off. Todd, we were sitting during a podcast and he changed into a leather vest and then took his shirt off. Like, so I just feel like you two are so
People like
freewheeling.
to see my bare chest.
No, I feel like you two
Why are
would
you
be
hating?
like
No, that's-
if we were all drinking and driving around somewhere, like and going somewhere to do something.
Hey,
And
kids, don't drink and drive, though.
no,
Seriously.
someone was driving us.
Okay.
And someone was like, "Oh man, this guy just cut us off. We need to put some pressed hams up against the window." I think you two would be the first to jump right up to the plate, and you'd be like, "Oh, we got this.
That's-
right now."
That's fine. That has nothing to do with us wearing ill-fitting clothing.
I'm telling
that
you-
that doesn't sit on our bodies correctly.
I'm telling you,
Thank you,
That-
Cory.
Pressed hams.
You're welcome, Todd.
you
You're
two-
welcome.
You two have never had that issue, and I'm very proud of you. But if someone were to have those issues on this podcast, it would be you two.
No, it wouldn't be. I guarantee
He's
you it
not
wouldn't
walking
be.
the shit back one step. He's like, I'm doubling down on what I just said.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait to see you next week.
Todd,
He's already not talking to me, and now he's not talking to your dumbass either.
and Todd and I will be on the same. You know what, Todd? We're not wearing pants that episode.
See,
Exactly.
this is just an excuse to
Yeah.
prove exactly what I already think. So
Todd and I will be on this side of the table, and you guys are going to see a lot of crack that day.
yeah, you guys are gonna be cracking it up,
And
the
we
whole
might
time.
bend the rules of nature. Cover
Yeah,
your taint.
you'll be bending something, but
I got to tell you what. I can't wait to see this live episode on the 5th of August. This kind of marketing is priceless. We can't buy this kind of marketing.
Yeah, hopefully you
should
think
release
this
this
up
early.
by
We'll release this,
10:30 so
yes.
that people
This
can change their
one
plans.
might have to come out on Wednesday.
we really can't buy anything. We don't have any money.
Oh wow. Okay, let's. We're gonna move right into.
If there's
Jeff-
anybody I thought had their anus on, it'd be Todd and Cory.
Fuck this guy.
Wow, I thought he was talking in tongues for a second.
Yeah, like.
All we heard was-
Cory.
That's all I heard.
Let's do a little gentleman's agreement.
Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement.
It's the motherfucking gentleman's agreement.
That's badass. That is badass.
It needs some polishing.
Yeah, it only took 100 and some eepisodes, but he finally got tired of hearing the audio.
I
that
like the
snipped.
one. Done. You still should have put done in there.
Yes, I want another version before next week.
Yeah, done.
All right. We got to start with Nick because I feel like it's been a while since we've heard from you on this segment. So you had, first I assigned you Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
For people who are keeping track of this kind of shit. And then midweek decided to
Mittwoch.
switch it up and go with Bohemian Rhapsody.
As we say in Germany, it be Mittwoch.
Yes.
But yes. So yeah, you did, and I'll give you a lot of credit for that. I was off work for 2 months, and I just started back up again a week ago. And Bob's been doing absolutely everything he can to help, which includes not giving me picks where I have to rent them. So he looks for things on Netflix that are free, and I really appreciate that. So gave me Bohemian Rhapsody. Fucking phenomenal. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about Queen. I knew a lot of Queen songs, but I didn't know anything about them.
I was going to say, I thought we, even like in the post episode show up in your kitchen, have watched the
We've watched
Freddie
Live
Mercury.
Aid.
Yeah.
We've watched Live Aid.
Okay.
But Live Aid is not the movie. Live Aid is Live Aid. The movie is about Live Aid when he played. So yeah, I intimately knew a lot about the different shows that they did and stuff, but I didn't know the ups and downs, how they came about and how they got together. I didn't know Freddie Mercury was fucking Indian. I had no clue. I didn't know his name was not Freddie Mercury. And at a certain point, like they honed in so much on the fact that he was Indian, like I almost felt like I was watching like a Bali version of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm like, okay, where's the real one? Because all I see now is like this like really, really overproduced Bali version of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I couldn't get it out of my mind.
Yeah.
And but then I started looking at pictures of Freddie Mercury, and I'm like, okay, well, it's just my mind that was playing tricks on me. I just thought he was like Italian or something, and I needed to kind of retrain myself. Like, no, he's not.
Right.
This is just, you were just choosing to see what you chose to see, and this is who he really was, and this was his family, and I really appreciated the story and everything behind it, and I know we went into some great detail in the past about how verbatim, action for action that this actor was with everything that actually happened in real life, and that he was super dedicated into like where you can take screenshots at Live Aid, and the shows that he produced. And, you know, Freddie Mercury's arm went up in a certain motion. This guy's arm went up at the same time in the song. And it was almost like screen for screen, you could watch exactly what he was doing, and it was mimicking Freddie Mercury, which I think is super fucking awesome. Bob and I have talked about that in the past, but it was cool to see. I did not know the whole story behind everything. I didn't know he left Queen. I didn't know he turned into a dick. But I really like, and I didn't know all the issues he had with his mouth. Like that he had this horse mouth where he was like, you know, he couldn't really talk. He had issues talking. I think it was interesting to find out that he said that he had 4 extra incisors, which is what gave him his range in his voice.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why he never wanted to fix anything.
The people had asked him, not in Bohemian Rhapsody, but I remember there were interviews and articles about Freddie Mercury about, you had all this fucking money out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get implants, or why didn't you get new teeth? And he said because he thought it would affect his voice. And I think Lori was saying tonight that Barbra Streisand said the same thing. And a good example of that, not with teeth, but Julia Andrews, who played Mary Poppins,
Never wanted to fix her breasts because
No.
it's going to change that voice and
Sound and music,
Can't have
everything
that.
else. She had polyps or something on her vocal cords, and it was supposed to be extremely simple. They were just going to go in and just take a little biopsy, and it was going to be done. And she could never sing again since that fucking day. And she went into a Great Depression and actually wanted to kill herself. So I could see why, the chick in Mary Poppins, she cannot sing. You know, the hills are alive with the sound of music, like all that
the
crap.
hills are not alive anymore.
She, from that day forward, after she had that surgery, she can't even carry. She can't carry a tune. You could sing better than she could. And dude, I'm telling you,
I was aware of that.
I'm telling you, she
Well,
had a
carrying
voice.
a tune is different than pitch. So I think that her voice was damaged. I think you're right. I think the voices that these artists have are pure, and it depends on if they're imperfections that make some of their voices perfect.
Exactly that. You know, Freddie Mercury's was that for whatever reason, he thought it was because he had a wider mouth and it allowed him to have more range. Her, for whatever reasons, maybe she had issues with her vocal cords that allowed her to reach certain pitches that normal people were not. And, you're fixing something that wasn't broken per se, and now she couldn't sing at all. So I can see why when your livelihood depends on your voice, like, hey, leave me the fuck alone. Don't touch anything. You know, I don't want to change my teeth. I don't want to change anything.
Yeah.
And, but I digress. It was a great movie. It was fantastically put together. The direction was awesome. The acting was superb. I don't know enough about Freddie Mercury where I haven't seen interviews with him, but I can only imagine if this actor put that much into how sloppy this guy talked and, you know, how horse-faced he was, that it had to have been spot on.
Yeah.
But just to close it out, I will say A+, wasn't expecting the end the way it was. I knew Freddie Mercury died, didn't know it was from AIDS or anything like that. But it was
That was
nice.
big news back in the day.
That's what I heard. Lori was talking all about that tonight, and so was Angie about that was like the turn of the whole thing. The whole AIDS thing was, oh my God, Freddie Mercury, you know. And but the way they played it out, you know, was that he came full circle. He humbled himself and came back around this corner of, you know, he was humble in the beginning and he just wanted family and friends, and then he got it, and then he got too much money, and then he became an asshole, and then he fucked everyone over, and then he realized that life is not about money and it's about family and friends, and he wanted that back, and he was like, basically, you can take whatever money you want because I'm dying and it doesn't matter to me. I just want that family that I had before. And then he dies, you know. So it's a good message. It was sad. I didn't know it was going to be that sad towards the end, but it was pretty sad. But I definitely liked it. Great pick.
Awesome. Todd, you had to watch. Sorry.
Well, can I make? I think that's awesome that you loved it. I think the things that you learned about it. What a great production! I thought I'm a huge Queen fan and Freddie Mercury fan. Very, 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 very awesome. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Even though I didn't assign it to you, I'm really happy that you enjoyed it.
Stop stealing my thunder, man.
Todd,
why don't you give your review?
Todd, I will say the last point of it, when the guy that he was like interested in the beginning had said, you know, basically, hey man, you get your fucking life together and you start to love yourself, come back and see me. And then he did. He did. And not only that, but Queen, who were all straight, which I thought Queen, the whole band, was gay, so that shows how much I know. But they loved him unconditionally, and then it said at the end, and it started showing like pictures of the actual band, and it said that once he passed away, not only was Queen, but this guy by his side, and it said that they did something in his honor. They made some kind of scholarship fund or something like that in his honor and I was like, here come the waterworks. I'm like, okay, now this is sad. I'm like, this is really sad. Like something about AIDS awareness or something in his name, and they did something, and I'm like, wow, they really were good friends. Like they were really like a bunch of
Well, you say at the end of the day, you love who you love, and the stigma associated with him being gay, the stigma associated with him being not white in a rock band. I mean, ultimately, that's what's really cool about the story. I mean, he had to hide who he really was to get his artistic genius out there. And when we don't let people be themselves, we're depriving ourselves of seeing the talent that people can bring forth. But I think, again, I love the movie. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I think in a big way, Freddie Mercury kind of inspired at the day and age that we're currently in. With you've I can't think of his name, the rapper that's
Eminem,
Macklemore.
No.
Black Lamar,
Jay-Z,
No.
DMX,
None of those guys. Either
Big
way.
Daddy Kane.
Yeah,
Fat Joe.
Yeah,
Fat Joe. It was Fat Joe, wasn't
fuck
it?
Fat
Skinny
Joe.
Joe. Was it Little Dirk?
But
Luda.
I think he had a big impact on how everything kind of is today, and the acceptance that has come about. In different
Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
Oh, Frank Ocean.
Oh yeah. Frank Ocean too. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. So
Well, Little
you're gonna
Nas
have to-
X.
You're gonna have to.
I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking of.
Yep.
Todd. Yes.
Fuck you, Bob. Todd.
No,
got it.
that's exactly what I was thinking of actually. But yeah,
where gender is a little more fluid.
and to open the careers they have, without them having to hide initially.
What about Elton John?
I'm not.
But
I'm
that's in
not saying he didn't have
in
an
the rap-
impact.
He's not a
the rap
rapper.
world.
He's not a
That's not
rapper,
a
and
rap
actually,
thing.
and
Yeah,
if you
but-
listen to rap, and if you listen to rap music, there is a lot of homophobia, a lot
I
in
get
the lyrics.
that, but
I mean, ultimately,
what is the parallel with Freddie Mercury and rap music?
I'm just relating to the movie itself and the impact he had now that he's gone. Elton John's still around and still. I'm not saying he doesn't have an impact because he does, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's huge. I'm just correlating to what you watched. That's all. But
And maybe Freddie Mercury wasn't quite as on the nose as Elton John, so he kind of
no, because he hit it way more. I mean, Elton
Yeah.
John's.
he had to hide himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact of
I
what
get it,
what he originally went through and got to the point that he did, and then was finally at the end of his career was kind of able to be himself. I think that opened the door for people nowadays to just come out and be themselves in the beginning of their career rather than trying to have to hide stuff. And the fact that he is gone now, his influence could have, like Elton John, could have continued on and been such a great thing for, the day and age that we're in. He obviously had a great impact on it, but I think it could have still been so much more if he was still around.
Well, clearly, because he actually, rather than actually treating his condition and actually being honest with himself, he stuck his head in the sand like a lot of people do. That's the common theme, right? I'm sick. I know something's wrong with me, but I'm afraid to go to the doctor because I have to tell him what I've been doing. People might know.
Yeah. So so even for people that aren't on that level of being an entertainer or being out in the public eye, just for those people that, like Todd, like you just said, that, oh man, something's kind of going on, to know that they can go seek help now without feeling shame or feeling bad about themselves. That's awesome.
But holy shit, I mean, like, what a great job when they showed the photos of Queen at the age that these actors were supposed to be portraying them at.
Yeah.
And they did a side by side, like they looked like the exact same fucking people.
yeah.
They really did a good job of casting that movie.
Absolutely, and I'm always amazed at how talented people are because, again, there are several shows where you're like, holy cow, the actors are almost doppelgangers to the thing. But you have to find somebody who not just looks like them, but is also able to actually convince us that they're them. Because there's a lot of people who look like someone, but totally their mannerisms are different. Everything about them is different. And
Well, Todd,
so I think it's amazing to find that type of talent.
Not only that, but like, let's say you found someone like that was French and they couldn't do an English accent. Like, I mean, that's a big part of the movie. Like, they had to sound like they're from London. You could have been out the window like, oh yeah, you look exactly.
Acting is truly an art. Good acting is really, really, really any acting is an art. But I mean, ultimately, it helps you. Bob's instilled this in me. It helps you to respect the craft that these people do. Yep. Thanks, Bob.
Well, I mean, people older than us have always been able to cast their sage wisdom.
Todd, you had to watch Alone,
I did.
season 4, episode 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
Give us a quick.
Todd, do you not know what happens after that?
Yeah, I was trying to. I'm gathering my thoughts. So Alone. If you've seen Naked and Afraid, Survivor, or any other A Day
Then
in the
you've
Woods
seen
with Bear
this one.
Grylls.
And
If
moving
you've
on.
seen it, exactly. If you've seen any of that, Alone is that, and season 4, 1 and 2 explicitly is a little, just throwing a couple little twists in there where you. It's basically a survival show, and the end game is to see how long. There's no set timeline to win the game. Whoever can stay in the wilderness in Vancouver, British Columbia, so actually very close to where I live, for as long as outlast everybody else. And I think there was like 9 teams to start. And the season 4 twist was it was teams of 2 people because the show's name is Alone. But in this one, it was people could be paired with. They could pick whomever they wanted to do with them. And there's a lot of father-son duos. There were a couple of brother duos, and there was a husband and wife duo in the episode. So I didn't see who made it out. And so again, if you've seen Naked and Afraid, you've seen Alone. Different. The only twist is the 2 people when they hike to each other, when they meet each other, buck-ass naked in the middle of the wilderness, they're actually related. So they've actually probably seen each other's wieners. And so with that, I will say, like any of those shows, I watch them because, again, like any train wreck, you kind of want to see what can go wrong in the woods. I thought living in the area, relatively in the area, I thought they over dramatized some of the things. Ultimately, one of the things they picked on were that there were lots of black bears and lots of human black bear incidents that happened in Vancouver, British Columbia, at a higher rate than anywhere else on the planet because they have a really high population. Same thing with cougars, and they have wolves and coyotes and all those predators. I think like one of the early scenes, and no spoilers, but one of the woman husband-wife duo, she encounters a wolf on like day 1, hour 2, and she's like, "Oh, I have to. It's coming towards me." And I'm like, "The wolf is not going to attack or eat you by itself. You're not in any danger." But they spent about 7 minutes of the hour-long episode kind of making that a huge drama. So I wasn't impressed by that. Similarly, these people train for years and years and years and do crazy shit to get on the show. And when dude twisted his ankle and was out day 1, I was not impressed. And I say this, so let me preface this by saying Todd Dillon could never last 13 minutes in the bush where these guys were. So I'm not claiming to be superior to, but I'm saying if you go, I freaking lived in the outback off the grid and drank urine for 2 years and ate freaking elk shit to survive on, and then you fucking bail out one day in, I'm calling you out. I got to do it. So there's a lot of freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Pussycraft. I think bushcraft.
Pussification?
Again, pussification. There are people who bailed out because, again, the dude, and you could see the look on one. There was one father-son duo where the dad was like a special forces military navigating mofo, and he taught his son from the day he was born, threw him in a mud puddle and made him a freaking bushcraft, crafty outside motherfucker. And that dude, his son, pushed the button to get help to come because the bear rustled around his camp for a night. And I'm like, I have bear in my yard every freaking fall, and I'm not ringing the bell. So I was not impressed.
Chunks of guys
by
like
that.
you in my stool.
So I will say this, Todd. Now looking back, when you said father-son duo, I'm like, what? I'm like, the whole season they're alone. I don't know what he's talking about. So I just looked, and apparently I gave you season 4, but I should have given you season 8.
You did.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But regardless, maybe there's some bad shows, maybe there's not, but you get the gist. You get the gist.
It's not bad if you like Naked and if you like that stuff. And again, I do. I watched it. I watched the third episode. I'll put it to you this way. On a day where there's nothing on, I'll absolutely flip that shit on. Because again, I'm intrigued by the craziness and survival shit. I'm also intrigued by the fact that these dudes, where these people come from, and like literally the mission is to let's see how miserable I can make my life and survive.
Yeah.
Like the one guy's like, my wife and I lived for 10 years without running water. I'm like, you're proud of that?
But I also know that I've seen some seasons of Alone, and one of them was really good. One of them kind of sucked. And what I thought was season 4 that I was giving to you that I really liked was apparently season 8, and I just realized that. So I apologize.
I'll watch some episodes of it because again, I'm not anti. This isn't a.
I know.
Because
This
is must watch TV.
But I'm like, how are you gonna have a show called Alone and allow them to have someone else? That doesn't make any sense. Like the premise of the whole show is like you're by yourself and you go insane because you're by yourself.
Well, I was gonna so this can I give a little mini spoiler then?
Yeah, go ahead.
The way that they fucked that, they made that actually they reconciled it because rather than dropping in dad and son together at the same spot, what they did was they dropped off them in different spots, and then they had to pick a person to do a 10-mile hike through the bush to make it to their counterpart. And the thing that nobody calculated, they're like, it'll probably take me like 2 days to make it that 10-mile distance. And it took people a week. And so on both ends, people were getting nervous. And so, like I said, when the bear was rustling around the kids' camp for a couple of days without his dad to say, don't worry, and to reinforce his strengths and whatnot, that's what ultimately did him in, because he made it the second day. And I'm like, really?
And let me just clarify something, Todd. Please tell the listeners that you do not have grizzly bears coming in your backyard.
I have black bears, and these are black bears in Vancouver Island as well. We have black bears, not brown bears. Brown bears, grizzly bears, very offensive.
So that
black bears very
that
dangerous.
episode was Vancouver, because the one I'm talking about, there's fucking grizzlies, and it is also in Canada. A lot of them take place in Canada.
Sure,
so.
and don't get me wrong. And by the way, black bears will kill you just as quickly as a brown bear.
Yeah, but we went to my cabin and we were bombed off our ass, and there's fucking black bears up there, and there's cougars, so we weren't too upset.
Also naked.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's danger in it. I think the thing that they really screwed these guys on was they all knew exactly what kind of plant infrastructure was in the area, and the thing that made that 10-mile hike very interesting is there's a specific, I can't remember the name off the top of my head now, but there's a specific kind of bush that's very, very like native there, that if you like try and walk through it, it grabs the bush next to it. So you're literally pulling the whole forest through you with every step that you take. Like all the leaves are intertwined with bushes around them. So like your little 2-foot swath is like totally, you're like, once you start walking through, you're like getting like 20 feet of bush that's coming with you with everything. And one guy actually lucked out and found a bear path, which was pretty interesting. So he had an easy trek. And I will say, too, the people who had to set up shop and wait for the other person, the woman seemed to have an unfair advantage because it pissed on everybody else. They were struggling to find a flat place to like set up camp for the person, waiting for the person who was coming. And this lady like found a spot. She had like a fireplace and all this shit set up in like 2 days. She was like living like she's like living her best life, like right out of the gate. And everybody else is like, I can't find a flat area. I'm tapping out. And like then they send the helicopter to the other dude who doesn't know that their partner, who's supposed, like if one taps out, they both are out. And so literally she's seen the look on people's faces like, is my brother still alive? Yes. Is he okay? Oh yeah, he's fine. And he tapped out, and you can see like they want to go, I knew he was a pussy, and I should have freaking not done this with him.
Yeah, because there's a big cash prize. I mean, so.
All right.
Well,
if you guys are
not for nothing, $500,000 split between the two contestants isn't like put you over the edge money.
all right, I think you guys are ruining the vibe going into the live episode where you're supposed to be at each other's throats, and
yeah, fuck you, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
And,
I hate
and
it.
also,
It's
Cory,
F-.
Remind me next time for you and I to go first.
That was also the quickest 30-second synopsis I've ever heard in my entire life.
Cory, you're the Fisher King.
I had the Fisher King from you.
Yeah.
So Fisher King stars Robin Williams and my biggest fan, well, the guy that I'm a huge fan of, Jeff Bridges, the dude.
Is this going to be a spoiler-filled review or a spoiler-free review?
No.
Let him get his 30 seconds out, bitch.
Pretty free.
Well, no, you got to get this shit up right up front before the synopsis, as we learned from
spoiler-free.
Todd's review last week.
Yeah, so it's all spoiler free. I'm not gonna lie. At first, like the very opening. So premise of it, Jeff Bridges is a big time radio host in New York City, and he kind of like some of the radio hosts you hear even today. Like it's just all fun and games, and you
like
know,
a Howard Stern kind of.
yeah, you just kind of talk shit on the radio, and you have people call up and you give them shit and whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize this is going to affect someone's life in such a way. But the very beginning, like the first 20, 25 minutes, I thought for sure I would put money on it that Tim Burton directed it. It was almost shot like a Batman movie.
Because it's Terry Gilliam was a director who did a lot of fucked up movies, and he actually directed they co-directed Holy Grail, Life of Brian.
Okay, and that's because I actually had to look it up because I'm like, if this isn't Tim Burton, like it's his protege, because like all the camera shots and angles,
Yeah.
like it was almost kind of like that cartoon-esque, like almost like a Batman Returns.
He's got a he did a movie called Brazil, which is really one of the most fucked up movies that I could recommend to anybody. But I when I was married, I bought it early on. I'd seen it in the theater. I saw it on VHS when I was in college, and ended up buying like a box set of it because I loved it so much, and I made Christy sit through and watch it like a couple of times with me, and she fucking couldn't stand it. She hated it with a red hot fiery passion. She hated it because she just could not. He had just such a off kilter sensibility. So yeah, that's I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, it was so. Like I said, that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this kind of style of movie. But as everything progressed, it's a great movie. It's a deep story that it really kind of at the end it really touches you. It's the person that Jeff Bridges, that Jack was his name in the movie. The person that he becomes something out of it. So it has that deep undertone of, basically don't look at everyone in a certain light and just think that they're that way just because, and even if you think you're better than them, you don't know why that person's in a certain situation or what their current state of mind is for whatever reason. And again, I'm trying not to give too much away because it is a great flick, and if people haven't seen it, I want them to check it out. The only other downside I will say, I believe, was it Mercedes Rule that was Jeff Bridges' girlfriend in the movie? Dude, her accent and her forced New York accent in the movie, absolutely terrible.
Really?
Oh, dude, it was like
she won an Academy Award.
Yeah,
I don't know
she won
how.
the Oscar for that,
she had her like teeth clenched together, and was doing this like she's like.
That's just how she talks. I've seen her in other shit.
It was so stupid. Her part was.
Your mouth is stupid.
I'm not. It really threw the movie off for me because I'm like this is forced what she's doing. You're telling me it's not? I'll believe that because I haven't seen her in anything else. But that really kind of stuck out to me. That I'm like, they could have done without her.
Well, I would
or
encourage
that accent.
I would encourage anybody to go check it out and make the decision for yourself. And
most definitely. Like I said,
I'm super happy that you liked it.
It's a great movie, and I mean, how can you go wrong with Jeff Bridges and one of the greatest ever, Robin Williams.
Let me just say this about that. We talk about Jeff Bridges a lot in this podcast because he's clearly a role model of sorts for Cory and the rest of us to some degree. I think I'm really speaking for Nick here, and I shouldn't. But
and he's a dude.
He is the dude. But if all you know Jeff Bridges from is The Big Lebowski, definitely check out and The Old Man, which I want to try to get to. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was really, really good. If you don't think that Jeff Bridges is an A-list unbelievable actor, then watch this movie, and specifically the scene where he is at his lowest point, and is sitting out at a fountain in New York with a puppet.
When he's talking to the puppet and starts hugging it, and his speech and everything was.
It literally it brings me to tears every time I see it, because I'm like, that is some of the best acting I've ever seen.
No, and you're right about that, because I think when people do hear Jeff Bridges, they automatically, and myself being one, revert to him being in The Big Lebowski and being the dude.
Right.
Not gonna lie, the first half hour of the movie, hearing his voice, that's all I could hear in my head was the dude.
Yeah.
But once you see certain scenes, like that kind of fades away, and you're like, wow, yeah, he is actually
A wide-ranged actor.
dude, a huge ranged actor. Like there was so many parts in the movie that I'm like, it's so far from, what the Big Lebowski is, and it just it shows his true range of how talented he really is.
If his real personality is not the dude, then he's an amazing actor, because when I watched
He's an amazing actor.
I'm like they've just picked the perfect guy, but clearly he really knows.
He's
how
an
to act.
amazing actor.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. I'm getting notes from off stage, exit stage right. That
One last shot for the show. Yep.
So Todd, grab that Crown
Hang on,
Royal.
you didn't give me a second to pour. I'm getting it.
Machu
I'm
Picchu.
getting it.
Todd, I'm bringing this slowly to my lips. You better hurry up.
I'm gonna pour it, you bitches. You always
Newport
fucking late.
News, Walla Walla, Washington,
Waka waka
Machu
waka.
Picchu.
All right, I'm ready.
Cheers.
Salute.
Oh,
Sweet sassy molasses.
give me a second.
Sarsaparilla.
Just a second.
Cory and I used to do root beer floats. Remember those?
Root beer floats.
Where I get the root beer schnapps and we drop it into a beer.
Was that a root beer float or a Snickers bar?
Nope, it's called a root beer float. It tasted just like root beer.
Amaretto was the amaretto in a beer was a Snickers bar.
All right,
I
I had
remember robbing for nuts when he was little.
I had Dave.
Fuck you.
Dave on Hulu from Cory. No,
Not
from
Good for
Todd.
me.
From
It's
Todd.
for me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, this is the one where
retaliation.
I gave Todd F is for Family, which he thought was the biggest piece of shit he'd ever seen. And in return, he gave me something that he couldn't classify as either a live action show or an animated show.
Hang real quick.
Didn't understand. Right.
Real quick
Yeah.
before you start too.
Yeah.
I want you to know that night Todd called me.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I had some real bad sushi earlier. And I went to the bathroom and I shit all over the toilet.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't compare to that piece of shit show that Bob gave me. Todd's
Hey, that's fair.
Todd's
Wow.
words, not mine. Todd's words, not mine.
That is totally fair.
That's a nice seat warmer too. So that was some hot
It doesn't
shit.
sound like anything I'd ever say. It doesn't sound like anything that I would ever say. So, take from that what you will.
I shall take that for what I will. And so 30 seconds. Dave is a series on Hulu about a gentleman who's trying to become a rapper. He thinks he can make it as a rapper, despite everyone around him, literally everyone around him, doubting that he would be a good rapper. I watched the first 4 episodes. There's quite a few actual rappers that make an appearance in the show, and I will tell you that after the first 2 episodes, I thought about calling you Todd and telling you to go fuck yourself, because I don't think I laughed once. Not one time. And in fact, I was filled with rage for the better part of an hour. And then I watched the 3rd episode because I'm like, you know what? I'm a man of my word. If I'm going to shit all over something, I'm going to watch what I'm supposed to watch. So I started the 3rd episode, and you motherfucker, you got me.
He dropped that line, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. This is a spoiler-free review, so I will not say what that line is. But suffice to say, episode 3 of Dave, if you could make it that far, totally worth your time. I may finish it, except that go fuck yourself, Todd. You hated F is for Family, and 4 episodes of Dave is all you get from me.
That's awesome. I'll take that. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm not even giving it a grade because fuck you.
Similarly, Bob, I did the same thing. I watched. I'm like, I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
they're not doing a good job of it. But
yeah,
then,
that's what I thought for the first whole 2 episodes.
But I thought here's the sneaky thing. You were honoring commitment. I actually watched it thinking, I'm like, I think I'm going to be mad about this, and like I'm going to have to write a letter. But then it turned around.
Oh wait, what? Are you telling me that Evans Family turned around? Because that's not the review that we got last episode.
No, I'm talking about Dave. Still.
Yeah,
I'm saying with Dave,
up.
like you. I think I started watching Dave, Bob, when there's like a late night. I'm like, I should probably go to bed.
Yeah.
Let me see what's. And then like I started watching. I'm like, this is horrible. I can't believe I'm up late watching this horrible show.
So did you get roped in on episode 3 as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. At the same moment, I assume.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm like, I get where you're going with this, but and that's the one thing I was going to say. There's I don't know what it is that actually keeps you. Look, because I had the same thing. I'm like, this is horribly done. It's not that funny. And then when they hooked me, It's like that swordfish and going for that lady's groin. Like when you got hooked, you got hooked. That's a reach back.
Yeah, that is a callback. All right, new assignments for next week. I got Todd. Cory has me. Todd has Nick, and Nick has Cory.
Ooh, damn it! I keep preparing for getting you back to back because your freaking randomization machine freaking is.
Dude, it's an Excel random formula. I mean, I think the fact that it's a random formula means that it can't be predicted or.
Can we not talk about the random nation?
Okay. if unless somebody else wants to, I can go first.
I got you, buddy. You have The Gray Man on Netflix.
Ooh,
awesome!
Ooh.
I've been thinking I might want to check that out. Got it. All right, Todd.
Yeah.
I do have you, right? Yeah. Todd.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen... You know, I can't assign that to you. Have you seen The Power of the Dog?
No.
There you go.
One clarifying question. Are dogs going to die in this thing? Don't torture me.
I don't provide spoilers to my assignments. So.
Fucker. All right.
Todd, I'm putting Marley and Me on my list for you, buddy.
you better hope that Cory gets you next week because you might need that.
Dude, I was just telling somebody this morning today that every time I hear Chris Stapleton's Maggie song, I freaking bawl like a baby at my when I do a bonfire.
All right.
I thought I'd get a rise out of Nick. Hey, I have a quick question. Why is Nick allowed to freaking sit there and surf the internet, fucking looking disinterested?
Normally, I would jump all over if you were on your phone while we're trying to do a podcast. But Nick, I know, is doing research on what the fuck he can assign to Cory. So while he's doing that,
yes, sir.
Todd, you have Nick.
I do, and I'm trying to remember. And I didn't look. I should normally I look at what you've seen. Have you seen Inglourious Bastards, Nick?
No.
Ooh. Now hold on, Todd. Before you make that assignment, have we given any Tarantino films to Nick?
Yeah.
Have we?
There has to be at least
I think
one.
He had Pulp Fiction, didn't he?
No, I don't think that he has because that's still on my list of shit to assign him.
Is there not a Kill Bill somewhere in there?
No. Remember, I was giving you I was taking you through his whole filmography, but I wasn't thinking about him at all. I haven't given anything. And I have probably 3 different.
I'm
I have
stepping out on
Inglourious
a limb
Bastards
here.
on my list to give to him as well, Todd.
Yeah,
but I haven't done it.
Like mine's. Yeah.
Now
this we're stepping out on a limb.
I say go for it, buddy.
I am Inglourious Bastards.
All right.
And this is, and I love our agreement. If you hate this, Nick, I'll pay for it. I'll give you the money next week after I punch you in the mouth for freaking kicking me over about my ass.
Yeah, for the live episode where you're going to be angry at me and Nick, not talking to anybody, and getting punched in the mouth, and trying to market a live episode for the first time in
the live
probably
episode
7 or
because
8
we're
months.
not live right now.
All right.
It appears we're currently dead.
That's
Todd-
not what I've heard.
Todd, Bob thinks we are.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Dead people.
All right.
What
Cory,
movie is that?
Cory, have you ever seen confession tapes?
Yes.
I know you haven't seen The Quick and the Dead.
No. Did Bob?
Ooh, no, I never assigned it to anybody.
There was something in the dead. Bob assigned me. Oh, okay. Yeah, Quick and the Dead.
Quick and the Dead.
All right.
It is a Western, but it's a Western with like 100 big name stars.
I have. Yeah, with DiCaprio.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, you assigned it to me. Then you assigned it to me.
I don't know. Did
Yeah.
I?
Fuck. Oh yeah. On March 26th of this year.
Okay. Cory just said like, no, never saw it.
No, because I at first I'm like, that does sound familiar.
It made that much of an impression on him, I think.
Yeah.
I knew DiCaprio, wasn't it? Jesus Christ.
All these other ones I know you've seen. So you saw Into the Wild, right?
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Now here's a question for you, Cory. While he's looking,
Yeah.
putting yourself in the shoes, in the pants, either, maybe both,
With my crack out? Yes.
of the standard Schnozzcast audience listener. Are you interested in this episode to hearing what gets assigned to you so that you can watch it if you're looking for something to watch, and then tune into the next episode to see what you thought, if you thought the same thing that they thought about it? Or do you not really care and you're like, okay, I'll just listen to the next episode and I'll be surprised at what they had to watch and then listen to it then? What do you think?
I guess it really depends on the person. I think some people would actually want to watch themselves.
That's what I would have thought. And maybe if we had hundreds and thousands of followers.
But I think the only problem that comes into play there is then, because with us, we know we're assigned one movie.
Yeah.
Each person, you either have to pick which movie you want to watch or watch four movies in a week.
Yeah, no one's going to do that.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So
I'm assuming that there are some people who are like, Team Cory. I want to watch whatever Cory watches.
No, there's no.
I feel like there.
I don't think there's any of those people.
I don't think anybody's doing that.
Wow.
Todd, I was on your side about the butt crack, but I
shouted,
might be getting away from
here,
that.
I was shouted down.
Did you watch Surviving Death?
I don't believe so.
No, because Todd saw it and I made you watch it, right?
I don't know that you did.
But anyhow,
That's about people that have near death.
yeah,
Yeah,
you've seen it.
Yeah.
How do you?
I've seen.
I've talked about it.
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah.
That's too bad you didn't
Okay,
get
well,
me,
what
'cause-
episodes did you see?
I mean, that is true. He
Season
can
3,
read.
episode
that's-
17.
He's never assigned it to you before.
Assign me what ones that you'd like me to watch, and then I can.
But if you've
All
already
right.
seen it, then
Well,
just
wouldn't you start from the beginning?
Hold
I would
on,
assume?
but have you watched all of the episodes?
no, I not.
Have
by
you
any
watched how many seasons are there?
I don't think there's that many, honestly. Let me see. Let me look it up. Hold up. Oh,
means. If
But you haven't watched all of them.
No. If you've watched all of them, because I know that's not something I watched all the way through. So
What's this called?
Surviving Death.
Death, yeah. But I would only season 1, episode 1 was amazing, but I can only imagine if you started this show, you were not like, oh, let me start season 5.
All right.
Like
Well,
you probably watched the first episode.
Most likely.
Correct.
So
yeah, but I think for the interest of the podcast, because we're probably 21 minutes over at this point, we could probably settle that off air, unless
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, we'll figure that out.
unless you really think that people are like, no, what episodes does Cory have to watch so that I can watch?
I
them
don't think
too?
anyone's
Be ready
seen that. So let's just we'll make it easy.
Yeah, Surviving Death. Watch as many as you want.
Yeah, I'll figure it out off the air.
All
Yep.
All right. On behalf of Schnozzcast, this is Bob saying from Cory and Nick and Todd, can't wait to see you next week, August 5th, live episode. People are going to get their ass kicked. People are not going to be talked to. It's going to be amazing. See you then.